Buy a bucket, a hose, and a few bottles of soap for under $100, and you can be standing in someone's driveway making money the same afternoon. That's genuinely how low the starting point is for this specific business. And yet, done right, it turns into something generating over $60,000 a year, washing just 2 cars a day, 5 days a week. Some solo operators running this as a full-time business with slightly more equipment are clearing $50,000 to $100,000 a year with profit margins between 70 and 85%. Today, we're breaking down exactly how a mobile car wash and detailing business actually works, from a real person who built one from literally nothing. Here's how it actually started for one founder, a guy who simply loved cars and kept watching his brother constantly cleaning his own vehicle. That small, repeated observation turned into an idea. What if people didn't have to drive anywhere to get their car properly cleaned? What if the service just showed up at their house instead? That single shift, bringing the wash to the customer instead of the customer to the wash, became the entire foundation of the business. Here's what makes this specific model work so well from the very beginning. A traditional car wash needs a physical location, real estate, plumbing, drainage systems, and often $50,000 or more before a single car gets cleaned. A mobile version needs almost none of that. If you're starting genuinely lean, using a vehicle you already own and buying only the essentials, a pressure washer, a wet-dry vacuum, a dual-action polisher, some microfiber towels, and core cleaning chemicals, you can realistically get moving with somewhere between $700 and $1,700 in equipment. Some people have started with as little as $600. That difference alone is why this became one of the lowest barrier businesses someone can genuinely start with almost no savings, and why most solo mobile detailers report breaking even within their very first month. Here's how the money actually breaks down once it's running. This isn't a guess, it's based on how these businesses actually operate. One real mobile detailing operation averages around $8,000 a month in revenue, cleaning somewhere between 60 and 80 vehicles. And here's why the margins are so favorable compared to almost any other small business. The real difference between a mobile detail and a basic car wash isn't the water, it's the time and attention. A basic wash takes 15 minutes and might earn $30. A full mobile detail takes 2 to 4 hours per vehicle, and customers are willing to pay between $150 and $400 for that level of care, precisely because it's happening in their own driveway, on their own schedule, without them lifting a finger. Here's who this actually works best for, because the model genuinely serves a specific kind of customer better than any storefront ever could. Busy professionals who don't have time to sit somewhere waiting for their car. Business owners with an entire fleet of vehicles that would be a logistical nightmare to drive somewhere one at a time. People trying to sell a car who need it looking spotless without the hassle. And parents juggling a schedule that simply doesn't allow for an hour sitting in a waiting room. The convenience isn't a bonus feature here. It's the entire value proposition. Here's the part that separates people who make real money at this from people who quietly give up within a few months. It's not really about the cleaning itself. Most people can learn to detail a car well within a few weeks of practice, and plenty of successful operators started by simply detailing 5 cars for friends and family first, purely to build a portfolio and collect their first honest reviews. What actually determines success is consistent booking and repeat customers. The founders who've built this into something substantial didn't rely on random one-time customers. They built relationships with people who needed their car cleaned regularly, and with businesses managing multiple vehicles that needed a dependable, recurring service they didn't have to think about twice. A simple online booking page, a free Google business profile, and a handful of business cards or vehicle magnets often does more heavy lifting early on than any expensive advertising campaign. Here's why the timing on this particular business happens to be genuinely good right now. More people than ever are trying to make their existing cars last longer instead of buying new ones, which means more people investing in regular maintenance and care rather than treating a car as disposable. The broader auto detailing industry itself is projected to keep growing at close to 7% annually over the next several years. That shift plays directly into a service built around convenient, repeat visits rather than a single, occasional deep clean. And here's the honest reality check too, because this video wouldn't be complete without it. This business is genuinely weather dependent. A rainy stretch can slow things down noticeably. Water access matters too, since most states won't let you simply dump used wash water on the ground, which means either working near a customer's outdoor tap or eventually investing in a portable water tank and reclamation setup. And unless you eventually bring on help, it stays a business that requires your own physical time and labor, which caps how much you can scale without eventually hiring or training someone else to run additional routes alongside you. So here's the actual takeaway. A mobile car wash isn't a business that requires special training, a business degree, or tens of thousands of dollars sitting in a savings account. It requires a vehicle, a few $100s in the right equipment, and a willingness to actually show up consistently for the people who book you. The person who built the example we walked through today started with exactly that: a passion for cars, an observation about a real unmet need, and the willingness to just start before everything felt perfectly ready. Before you go, I'm curious about you specifically. What do you actually do for work right now? How old are you and where are you watching this from? And what was your very first job or your first real business idea, if you've ever started one? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one and I genuinely love to know who's actually watching these breakdowns.